Welcome to Fenra Young Gamer. Today we're diving into Marvel's Wolverine, a PlayStation 5 exclusive that Marvel fans have been waiting for years. Developed by Insomniac Games, this game aims to deliver the most brutal, darkest, and deepest Wolverine story ever. But so far, we don't have much information, do we? That's why we've put together an incredible breakdown for you, covering leaks, trailer details, theories, and the biggest expectations in the gaming world. If you loved Spider-Man 2, this game might just blow your mind. But before we get into the details, I realize that most of you have already watched and passed by. But subscribing and liking is free. Come on, let's be generous. Subscribe to the channel and like the video so we can grow together. Let's get started. So far, we've only seen a 53-second teaser trailer, but even that is packed with huge clues. Logan is sitting at Princess Bar in Madripoor, surrounded by bloody bodies. He's wearing a cowboy hat with a drink in front of him. The men around him are barely moving, and just as one of them reaches for a knife, Logan unsheathes his claws. And then, darkness. What is Marvel trying to tell us with this teaser? Princess Bar is a place Logan frequently visits. It even appeared in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we still don't know why Logan is so angry or who he's fighting against. One big question remains. Will Marvel's Wolverine be open world like Spider-Man 2? Insomniac Games has stated that this game will have a deep, emotional, and cinematic narrative. This could mean a more linear and story-driven experience, but what about combat? This is where things get interesting. Wolverine's greatest strength is his unmatched melee combat skills. If the game successfully captures his razor-sharp claws, brutal fighting animations, and devastating finishers, we could be looking at the most ruthless Marvel game yet. As you know, Insomniac Games delivered an incredibly rich narrative in its Spider-Man universe. The events surrounding Peter Parker and Miles Morales offered a character-driven and compelling story. Can they do the same for Wolverine? Absolutely. But this time, they need to craft a darker, grittier, and psychologically intense story. Logan is a lone warrior, constantly battling his past. If the game truly explores who Logan is, why he fights, and how he became this way, it could become one of the biggest hits of the year. Wolverine has a massive roster of enemies in the Marvel Universe, but the biggest question is, who will we face in the game? Sabretooth, Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike, and Omega Red seem like the most likely candidates. Sabretooth's appearance is almost certain. He is Wolverine's greatest rival, and it's nearly impossible for these two not to engage in a brutal fight. Beyond that, the Hand, Weapon X, and some surprise X-Men villains might also make an appearance. If Marvel's Wolverine delivers the bloodiest battles we've ever seen, this game will be one of the most talked about titles. Wolverine's story is broad enough to take place across multiple locations. But will the game be fully open world, or will it offer a more controlled experience? Based on statements from Insomniac Games, it seems that the game won't have a massive map like Spider-Man 2. Instead, we're expecting semi-open areas with a strong narrative focus, something akin to The Last of Us or God of War. Even without an open world, we'll likely travel to various locations to explore Wolverine's dark and violent world. Madripoor, the snowy forests of Canada, and Weapon X laboratories could all be part of the game's map. Insomniac is working hard to make this world as detailed and immersive as possible. Marvel's Wolverine will be a single-player-only game, but does that mean Logan will be completely alone? Wolverine is one of Marvel's most important characters, so the chance of encountering other superheroes is pretty high. Some X-Men members could appear in the game, and it wouldn't be surprising at all. Professor X, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm might cross paths with Logan at some point. But the biggest possibility? Deadpool! Wolverine and Deadpool have shared many adventures, and their hilarious, bloody, and chaotic interactions could bring an incredible dynamic to the game. Now, the biggest question on everyone's mind: when will Marvel's Wolverine be released? Unfortunately, there's no official release date yet, but looking at Insomniac Games' previous projects, the earliest estimate for launch is late 2025 or early 2026. Currently, Insomniac has confirmed that full production has begun, with the entire team focusing on Wolverine after completing Spider-Man 2. This suggests that development is progressing quickly. However, if the studio aims for top-tier quality, the release could be pushed to late 2026. That means we'll have to wait a bit longer, but if it's truly worth the wait, it'll be well worth it. Marvel's Wolverine is shaping up to be one of the darkest Marvel games yet. Insomniac Games brought a fun and dynamic tone to heroes like Spider-Man, but Wolverine is a completely different story. Logan's past is filled with blood, violence, and loss. If the game stays true to his character, it could pave the way for more mature Marvel games like Deadpool and Venom. Could the game be rated mature, 18+? If the combat system is truly brutal and gory, that possibility is very high. Marvel's Wolverine is one of Insomniac Games' most ambitious projects yet, and expectations are sky high. Since the game's announcement, fans have been speculating about its story and gameplay. So, what kind of game is really awaiting us? What secrets will we learn about Logan's past? Who will we face? What locations will we explore? And most importantly, can Marvel's Wolverine live up to the hype? Here's everything we know about the game so far, along with the biggest fan theories. Wolverine's story is one of the darkest and most tragic in the Marvel universe. From Weapon X experiments to his adamantium skeleton in endless battles, Logan's life has never been peaceful. How deeply will the game explore his past? Insomniac did an amazing job handling character emotions in Spider-Man. Can they do the same for Wolverine? If the game features flashback sequences, we might walk through the dark halls of Weapon X labs and witness some of Logan's most painful moments. Who will Wolverine face? Sabretooth's appearance is almost guaranteed since he is Logan's greatest enemy. Their brutal rivalry has existed for decades in the comics and we'll likely see it in its most savage form in the game, but he may not be the only villain. A character like Mr. Sinister, who experiments on mutant DNA, could be the game's main antagonist. If the story takes a Japan-inspired route, we could also see Silver Samurai or the Hand as enemies. Where will the game take place? The trailer hinted at Madripoor, strongly suggesting that the game will have a crime-filled city atmosphere. But aside from that, we might also explore Canada's snowy forests, Weapon X facilities, and even Japan's neon-lit streets. If New York is included, we could even encounter Daredevil or other Marvel characters. Insomniac loves these kinds of surprise connections, so it's very likely that Logan won't be alone in this adventure. Marvel's Wolverine is being developed exclusively for PS5, with expectations of top-tier visuals and next-gen experience. However, like the Spider-Man series, it could also launch on PC a few years later. But will it come to PS4? Unfortunately, no. Insomniac is fully utilizing the power of next-gen hardware, meaning PS4 is completely left out. While this ensures a higher quality experience, it's bad news for players still on older consoles. In conclusion, Marvel's Wolverine is a game with huge expectations, and considering Insomniac's track record, the bar is set incredibly high. If the game delivers a deep story, intense action, and truly showcases Logan's savage side, it could become a new benchmark for superhero games. What do you think? What are your expectations for Marvel's Wolverine? Which villain would you like to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share your opinions with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more gaming news and analysis. See you in the next video.